Hey, this is Pastor Dave, and this is your Monday Mojo. Hope you had a great weekend. So, I've been thinking about this a lot, not just in the last couple of weeks, but a lot in the last several years. You probably watched it. You probably knew about the fact that a week or so ago, the United States women's hockey team won the gold. And then a few days later, the men's hockey team won the gold. And then in the locker room afterwards, they received a call from the president who invited them to come to the White House and to the State of the Union to the men. And he said, I also got to invite the women or I might get impeached. And they laughed about it because it was kind of funny. Well, the next day, social media went crazy over the whole thing. And I knew it. As soon as I heard that, I was going to be like, oh my gosh. Because I've seen it. People are going to be like, that's so bad, that's so bad, that's so bad. Well, the next day, they were interviewing Jack Hughes, the guy for the United States Olympic men's team that scored the gold in the winning goal in overtime to get us the gold. And they asked him about this, and he said, you know what? It's just so negative. People are just so negative. They're always looking for a way to cut somebody down. Yes. I thought to myself, that is so insightful. I'm glad he said it out loud because it's so true. Years ago, when I was a young man in college, I went to Speedway United Methodist Church, and the Reverend Bruce Buckley preached a sermon that I have never been able to forget. I hope I've preached a few of those for you. Anyway, he was preaching on Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. I'm not going to tell you what it says. I'm going to have you go look it up yourself. But his whole idea was, think on these things. Think on the things that are positive. And Philippians 4:8 gives you a whole list of what to look for. But his point was that you can go around looking for the negative all the time. Amy Grant had a song a few years ago called Find What You're Looking For, where she says, the chorus says, there's so much good in the worst of us and so much bad in the best of us that it doesn't make sense for any of us to criticize the rest of us. You'll just find what you're looking for. And you will. If you start out looking for the negative, you'll find it. If you start out looking for the positive, you'll probably find it too. And my own mom was a perfect example of this. My mom could always see the good in the worst of us. And she really kind of refused to spend much time looking for the bad in the best of us. And I'll tell you what, she lived a happy and peaceful and productive life and changed a lot of people's lives with her attitude. She just did. And then I got to thinking about it further. It's not only good advice from the scriptures, it's not only good advice from Jack Hughes, it's not only a good example from my mom, but think of how much a better and happier life you would have if you did that. I mean, have you ever encountered somebody who that's all they're doing is looking for the negative? It's all over their face. It's like, and that's where they start, and that's where they end, and their whole day is just, what can I find that's negative today? Or you find that person who's got the gleam in their eye. That was my mom. Looking for the good in us. So I think it's good advice. I know it's good advice. It's good for the heart. It's good for the psyche. It's good for the soul. It's good for everything. So go read it. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. If anything is not, I'm not going to tell you. You go look. That's my mojo for this week. Have a great week.